Stop. Before the year and life gets busy, I want to take you through my personal finance reset and financial goal setting for the beginning of the year as a financial advisor. When it's time to look at your finances at the beginning of the year, people do one of two things. One, they set a bunch of goals in January and February and forget them by the end of March. Or two, they get so overwhelmed, they just don't do anything at all. Here's what I've learned. It doesn't take a lot of work. You don't need this process to be that complicated. It just needs to be intentional and you need to follow through with the work. My process only has 4 steps. It's simple, repeatable, and something you can come back to year after year. With that, let's dive right in. The first step in any good personal finance reset is to go back and evaluate how the year went. To do that, I always ask 3 questions. First question is, what were your wins for the year? It's so important to celebrate what you did well. It doesn't matter how small, whether that's maxing out your Roth IRA, paying down credit cards, or you hit a certain number on your net worth. That is something that you should take some time and celebrate. Number 2, you got to define your losses. What didn't go well this year? Those are things that you can improve on in this coming year or avoid moving forward so you don't have those losses year after year after year. Number 3 is going to be your highlights. What were your best moments throughout the year? For this one, my favorite thing to do is to go through your camera roll. It'll tell you a lot more about how the year went because there's going to be memories you forgot or a night out with friends that you just didn't remember. So this is a great way to go through and see what actually happened. I know I was surprised by going through mine and seeing, wow, we did a lot more than I thought this year. We traveled more, we went on more adventures, spent more time with family, and those are all things I want to have in my year. So find your wins, identify your losses, and go over the highlights. This is a great way to start your personal finance reset. Moving on, the next step in this process is to get your vitals. And this is what I call the ABCs of finances. ABCs of finance. Now we've got our ABCs of finance. Let me go over what they mean. A stands for aspirations. So these are the things that you actually want to achieve. We're gonna hit this step a little bit twice in the process, but at first, just write down some things that you want to achieve throughout the year. Maybe that's making work optional or doing a FIRE campaign, financial independence, retire early, something like that. The next up, we have B, your balance sheet. This is so important because we got to know what assets you have available to fund or to work towards those aspirations. And what's really nice is after you've done this year after year, or if you work with a financial advisor and they're keeping track of this for you, they can identify the trends. Is your net worth going up? Is your debt decreasing? Balances, investments, are they moving up and higher and higher and higher? Lastly, we have C, which is going to be your cash flow. This is the fuel to your plan. Of course, we want to identify how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. If you have $10,000 going in and you have $8,000 going out, you've got a surplus of $2,000 that we can put to work with your aspirations and goals. Of course, on the flip side, if you have $10,000 coming in and you have $12,000 going out, we've got a problem we need to fix, and that can be your aspiration or goal for this year. All right, so step 3, this is where we're gonna go back to the aspirations. I told you to be a little bit broad or vague at first, and that's because we're gonna go deeper in this step 3. With goals, it's one of those areas where it's quality over quantity. If you set 10 to 12 goals in a year, it's no wonder you're gonna get overwhelmed or you're gonna forget about one, which is why I think you need to simplify it. 3 to 5 max that you really focus on and that you take to the next level, premier to step 4, so you really understand what's the next steps to get you towards those accomplishments. So quality over quantity. Now here's the thing, asking, what do I want to achieve this year, is a really poor question. Most people do not do well when they even hear the word goals. So my step 3 is gonna be asking better questions to get towards those goals. Here are some of my favorites. Number 1 is, what is actually important about money to you? This really gets down into the core of what values you have when it comes to money. For me, It's security, and it is freedom, which allows me to travel and spend more time with my family and friends. All of the goals I'm about to set should all tie back into that value set. Now, the next two questions are going to be putting yourself in a future date and looking backwards. It's a nice technique to identify goals without saying, this is where I want to go. So the first question is, fast forward to the end of 2026 and ask yourself, how would you describe the year well lived? Who were you with? Where did you go? What did you spend money on? How much did you save? So really, you're writing the reality that you want to happen, that through this exercise will create your goals. When I did this for myself, it was creating more memories with family and friends, going on more travel, thank you Companion Pass, and working hard at work, feeling fulfilled, helping clients in the best way I can. Now, let's take it a step further. Fast forward 5 to 10 years from now, and then ask, what do you want to see? What do you want happening in your life? What does the best version of you in your life look at that moment? Once you have that reality set, work your way back. What goals do you need to set to get yourself to that point in 5 to 10 years down the road? Okay, the last step, and this is probably the most important, it is systems over goals. The truth is, just the fact of setting goals did not help anyone achieve them. In fact, high performers really focus on the habits and routines that will get them to the goals over the goals themselves. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says it best. We don't rise to the level of our goals, but we fall to the level of our systems. An easy example is savings. At the beginning of the year, of course, everybody sets a goal to save X amount of dollars, which is great. I love that type of goal. What's key is to set the routine or the habit of savings right now, in the beginning of the year. For example, when my wife and I sit down and we talk about how much we want to save this year, the next step is to update our 401k contributions, HSA contributions, Roth IRA contributions, and talk about what's the game plan if we get a bonus, an extra paycheck, something like that where money comes in that we weren't necessarily counting on. And having that mindset by just living on our salaries and saving 100% of the bonuses, it's inevitable that we're gonna hit those savings goals as long as everything goes to plan. So for you, once you have those goals or aspirations set in step 3, ask yourself for each one, what is 1 to 3 habits I can adopt that will help me get towards this goal? A couple of examples. If your goal is to max out your Roth IRA, okay, you know that in 2026, the maximum amount that you can contribute to a Roth IRA is $7,500. That's $625 a month. Go ahead, set up the automatic transfers and make it happen. If your goal is just to save more in general, you need to adopt some type of system. One that I like is for every raise or bonus that you receive, you put 50% towards savings and 50% towards lifestyle. That way you're allowing yourself to enjoy your wealth today and tomorrow. If your goal is just to get a better handle of finances, define the next steps. A lot of times it's going to be downloading the budgeting software, setting it up, and then scheduling a monthly routine, 30 to 60 minutes, to review the software and understand what money's going in, what money's going out, and how is the overall balance sheet flowing throughout the year. There's your homework. For each goal, write down 1 to 3 habits or routines you can adopt that will support moving you towards that goal. Even if you don't hit it, you're gonna get much closer to it than if you don't do this step. Because when your routines and habits are solid and you have a deep commitment to them, accomplishing the goals takes care of themselves. Okay, let's bring this home. You did your 2026 personal finance reset. First, you hit your wins, losses, and highlights. You reviewed your ABCs, your aspirations, your balance sheet, and your cash flow. Then from there, you set clear goals, specific, only 3 to 5. After that, you've identified 1 to 3 supporting habits and routines that will help you get closer to accomplishing those goals. That's it. 4 steps, simple, clean, repeatable. To really make this work, start small, build up momentum over time. And here's the thing, if this is your first time doing a personal finance reset, start small. There's no need to overhaul your financial life in one weekend. build up some momentum, and after a few years of doing this, you can push yourself even harder. See, the goal here is not perfection, it's just progress. I never tell my clients we're chasing perfection. Don't make perfection the enemy of good enough. And if you do all this, you will not only get closer to those goals, if not hit them, you become a person that is a good steward of their personal finances and one that consistently makes good decisions over long periods of time. And that is a successful wealth builder.